Welcome to Lee County Pod. Our host, Pete Milidnik, will take over. Please introduce our guests.
Thank you, Jack. We are here today at the City Hall in Hobbs, New Mexico, with the Hobbs City Manager, Manny Gomez, and the interim interim Chief of Police, Lyons. I didn't mean to say, I started to say assistant and I stopped myself. And we're happy to be here with you gentlemen and to see what's going on in Hobbs today. So I guess I would just say, Manny, to you, what's new since the last time we talked?
Well, good morning, and thank you, gentlemen, and again, thanks for our Interim Police Chief, Lyons, for also joining us this morning. Again, this is my second podcast show, so again, appreciate the opportunity. But what's new since the last time we talked, obviously, is many changes, and I'll begin with a new mayor. We have a new mayor with the City of Hobbs. Sam Cobb retired after 13 years of service, and the community at large elected Mayor Jonathan Senna, that has a lot of history and experience regarding city government. As far as our organization, we've just completed the year of 2025, and with that, a lot of lessons learned and areas of improvement, and we continue to focus on in this case, crime reduction focus, governance goals, city operation goals, infrastructure goals, and our financial goals. So many changes. However, we have some good momentum going into this year, and we're excited about 2026.
And anything in the way of priorities that you want to emphasize?
Priorities obviously is to increase quality of service every time from all the many departments throughout the organization. However, in into March of this year, we do plan an advance retreat with the commission, the mayor and commission, and the department heads to get a better direction on what's expected from the elected officials to our executive team, so the focus would obviously remain public safety, infrastructure, morale of our staff are some of the things that our new mayor has talked about. So our hopes is to focus and create the objectives to make those goals a reality.
Great. And I guess, Chief Lyons, I'll direct this to you. With August Fonz retiring last year and you coming in from Austin, Texas, how are things in Hobbs PD getting on these days?
Yes, sir. Well, again, thank you for the opportunity to have me on y'all's podcast. I'm very excited to be here, but also I've been very excited and fortunate to be a part of the Hobbs community. As far as the police department is going, I would say the police department is going very well and making very progressive steps to increase the public safety within our beloved community, if you will. Some of my immediate priorities right now is continue to invest in the professionalism and morale of our department, ensuring that we have appropriate and adequate staffing to support our citizens and deliver that effective public service appropriately, but also ensure that we are planning for the growth and development of the city of Hobbs.
And the staffing is adequate now, or working on it, or?
Well, right now we're being very progressive in our approach, and we're looking at some alternative methods in scheduling and classifications of roles and positions to ensure that not only we have the right people in the right positions, but we are being forward thinking and ensuring that we staff appropriately for the growth to come.
Yeah, that seems, I don't know, as a citizen of Hobbs, that seems so important to me, and I'm sure to everybody, that there's a good police presence where it's needed throughout the town.
And a good question and great comments from the chief. We also have engaged a third party to conduct a staffing analysis of the Hobbs Police Department, meaning identifying what is the ideal and the needs based on calls for service, the trends that we're seeing, the expectations from the community, so that's going to be an important document for us as a resource. Obviously, we're going to put our subject matter expertise into that decision, but that'll give us a better understanding of what truly is the adequate or ideal staffing for the City of Hobbs Police Department to affect the things that we need to affect.
You know, looking at yesterday's paper, I didn't see it until today, but I noticed that there was a small demonstration of, what was it, students, Jack, that we saw the photo of with the anti-ice or something. And I lived in the city of Minneapolis, Minnesota for almost 10 years, and I know recently there's been some friction between the ICE and the police department and all of that, and I don't sense anything like that around here. But is there a presence of ICE in our community, and if so, how has that impacted the community, if at all?
Well, sir, just to come back around to discuss the comments about the protest this past weekend or past Friday regarding the student walkout. Well, this is very correct. Obviously, as you know, across the country, there's been student walkouts. There's been a mass protest regarding the presence of ICE in the communities just across the country. We are very fortunate here in the city of Hobbs to be able to have that public trust, not only within our community, but with our elected officials and our school superintendent and the employees that work at our schools. Throughout the demonstration that we had this past Friday, everything went very well. It's important for us to ensure that we preserve our citizens' First Amendment right to, public assembly, and I believe we were very effective in doing that. We had no significant issues, the issues that you have seen across the country.
Yeah.
And again, that just goes to the testament not only of the hard work and the dedication of our city employees, but also it shows the type of level of trust and engagement we have within our citizens and within our public schools.
Mm-hmm. So was that demonstration near the high school or anything? I don't know. I wasn't even aware of it until I read about it.
Yes, sir. It was near the high school, and again, that goes to the work that went behind the scenes with the preparation regarding those sorts of assemblies to ensure that we have appropriate people in place to ensure that there's safety, not only for the employees, but also for everybody who is within the demonstration, but also within our citizens.
Sure. I guess in either one of you gentlemen, we met a little over a year ago, let's say, and since then, is crime in Hobbs up or down? And then the big question in regard to fentanyl, is that a big problem today, or as big as it was, say, a year ago? Or is it bigger?
Well, first I want to address your question in the whole fentanyl issue. For the year 2025, which was last year, we had approximately 70 to 72 overdoses, with 80% of those overdoses directly involved with fentanyl. So I would like to say, we would like to see that number go down, and we're taking some proactive steps with public education and looking at innovative ways to address this really public health crisis within our community. But as it relates to the crime statistics or numbers that you share, at this very moment with the stats that I have been able to look at, crime is trending downward very slightly. In the year 2024, we had approximately 4,400 calls for service, and for the year 2025, we had 4,000 calls for service. When I'm looking at our major crime, when it comes to assaults, anything that is going to be specific to bodily injury, if you will, that is also trending down, and that's one of the things that I'm looking forward to continuing down that trend for the year 2026 and beyond.
You know, and I don't know, just thinking in broad terms, the correlation between crime and the economy seems so important. If the economy is better, people are working, there's going to be less crime in general.
Yeah, I think historically, I think I can only speak, I've been in Hobbs since 1991, and I would say that there's a correlation with, economy's doing well, i.e. Unemployment's low. It's as a former professor, you understand that as well, and the effects on that at the New Mexico Junior College, right? At higher ed, some of the effects, people are out working, and then your student enrollment is decreased in some cases. But I would say that people are busier. But I think that we can also communicate that in the last several years we've seen astonishing growth in population, and obviously those that are working in the oil and gas industry, those that we would call transit population that come and visit and frequent Hobbs. But I think it's the public safety focus and getting out there and working on the reduction of crime. As I mentioned, one of our goals is the overall crime reduction, and we've been working on different areas of concern to be able to assist.
Yeah, with more population comes more of a challenge.
Yeah, so it's kind of like what is that equalizer, so to speak, to be able to balance the growth of our population and obviously the increased use of illegal substances that obviously affect a person and people's mind and what direction they're going to go with.
I don't know if this is an appropriate question. It might be, but you hear the term artificial intelligence, and I know that the people at the junior college have to deal with it. The teachers, they're guarding against students using artificial intelligence in their papers, and I submit things, my own writing, to journals, and they say, you didn't use any artificial. Little do they know I didn't know how to use the artificial intelligence. I kind of have a little bit of an inkling now. But what about in regard to being a tool for law enforcement with artificial? Is that at all relevant for the police department today, Chief?
Oh, absolutely. Artificial intelligence is taking off, right? But for the police department and just public safety as a whole, it's about finding that balance, a balance of how do we use this effectively and efficiently for our community, but also ensuring that we have the appropriate safeguards and boundaries in place.
Yeah.
That not only that we're being transparent in our data, but we are maintaining that data in an effective way that is appropriate for our community. Mm-hmm. Every community has different standards, every community has different expectations, but the city of Hobbs is unique, and we want to preserve that uniqueness and that culture here for our community.
Yeah, and for the benefit of all, here's a question in regard to, I guess, the economy. We go down the Lovington Highway and we see the event center, and it's a work in progress right now, that at least the part of it is. My question is, how how will the refurbished event center help the economy here in Hobbs? If it will, I hope it does.
Well, I think in the construction aspect as we see it today, as you mentioned, I mean, there's a benefit of construction gross receipt tax toward the building and the refurbish of the event center. But again, it's how we use it moving forward is going to determine what kind of boost it will provide to the economy. But what I would imagine to host different large conferences in different industries, such as in education, in city government, county government, in the oil and gas, agricultural, many opportunities to utilize the facility as they're designing additional conference rooms and to allow for breakout sessions of sorts. So I would imagine that can be a focus of having, obviously, the conferences. There's been throughout the years concerts that have attracted some famous musical artists that could do that. So there's been a tattoo convention center in the recent past that brought a lot of different vendors to our community. So that's heads and beds in our hotels. That's spending the eating at our restaurants, those type of things. So there is a continuance in growth within the gross receipt tax, that i.e. those that provide the service, the police chief, the fire department, our streets, our utilities, et cetera, our quality of life functions, in order to sustain those and to grow upon those when needed, then we've got to have some gross receipt tax, because that is our breadwinner. So I would see that the event center would be one of our contributors to that.
I don't know, I haven't heard this term in years, but the trickle-down economy, but at least ideally, and maybe in practice too, what's good for one is good for all. What's good for the event center will be good for the rest of Hobbs.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what programs they would have that I personally would want to go and see, but there might be something.
Right. And I think that's a community focus, and obviously you have a audience and an outlet within this podcast that maybe that's something that to generate ideas, and what does the event center look like in the future, and what's the input of our citizens and those in the outside areas, because that's what makes it,
And let me just ask this too, do you care to comment on any new businesses, oil field, any changes with the oil field or revenue trends for the city?
Well, obviously and I know we communicated probably briefly in our last podcast regarding House Bill 6, which changed the tax base from location to destination. Okay, meaning that an oil and gas company, service company in Hobbs, for example, that was located within the city limits, prior to 2021, the city of Hobbs would receive the gross receipt taxes from that entity. Okay, in post 2021, that now is the work that's being conducted out in the county or in another county, they're required to pay gross receipt tax to that area of origin. Okay, so that has affected the city of Hobbs in their revenue in upwards of 13, ranging from 13 to 20 million in a year. So obviously the oil and gas industry is doing well. and has sustained that for several years now. However, we have not, we're what we call a flat gross receipt tax, where we're accustomed on the ebbs and flows. And obviously, when it peaked, it peaked. We're no longer in that predicament, okay? So
And
that
really,
has
too, the state of wellness for the oil industry here impacts, well, where I used to work, the junior college. They're doing a lot of reconstruction there right now. When I started working in Hobbs and living in Hobbs in 1990, I started in a building called Mansard Hall, and I know that building pretty well. You know, I worked in it for 30 years. It's undergoing a major remodeling finally this summer, I'm told, too, and it's about time, maybe, you know.
Well, then again, you know, the benefits from the ad valorem tax at the junior college, which is tax on every piece of property or machine on a well site. There's a tax, and it's provided to places like the junior college, places like the county. But again, the city of Hobbs doesn't fall in that, right? So I sit on the New Mexico Junior College Board and have good understanding, and we have benefited substantially from the oil and gas industry for many years, but more so in the last 4 years.
Well, thinking here, the new person in Hobbs is sitting across from me, Interim Chief Wade Lyons. And, Chief, you've been in Hobbs for how long now?
Approximately 4 months.
Okay. Yeah, just a little change in the season. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Anything that you would care to share, you know, in your personal story as a law enforcement officer, or just a guy?
Yeah, yes, sir. For the public, I'm Wade Lyons. I have over 18 years of law enforcement experience, and up until now, all of that experience has been within the city of Austin, Texas, and the Austin Police Department. Within that experience, I have worked my way up through the ranks, from patrol officer to corporal detective to sergeant to lieutenant, and to the training commander over the training academy, which was my most recent position within that organization. You know, that organization was very good to me. It showed me a lot about policing, taught me a lot about public service, how to serve our community in the best way possible. And I'm fortunate enough to be able to utilize those experiences and bring that to the city of Hobbs and the Hobbs Police Department, where I am completely focused on investing in my employees, ensuring they have a safe place to come to work and actually do their jobs effectively, but also see growth, see advancement, while building that public trust within each and every member of our community.
That sounds real good, and we're happy you're here. A few years ago, at the urging of a former police officer, I myself, and I don't know what the proper word would be, but I was in the Citizens Police
Academy?
Citizens Police Academy, yeah, and it lasted for, it's a while back, about 10 years ago now, for maybe a course of 2 months, and I got a real first-hand look at the operations and things that police officers do and go through on a daily basis, and it really it enhanced my appreciation for police officers and all they do to keep our community safe and prosperous. And I would urge anybody at any time to, it's time well spent. And I don't know, do they still have that program right now?
Yes, sir. We still run our
yeah.
Citizens Police Academy. But another thing that I would like to add is doing general ride-alongs with our officers. There's opportunities for our citizens to come sit in the car on the passenger side with the police officer and see how they respond to calls, see how they deliver service to our community. And I think it's great because it opens the eyes and it shows folks exactly what the day-to-day looks like for our officers who are on the front lines of our community.
Oh, yeah, yes, and I feel very fortunate that I got a sense of that because I did some of my ride-alongs at all different hours, you know, in the middle of the night, you know, the one watch that would be from like about 6 p.m. to midnight during the day, and you get a real sense of what the patrol officers do on the streets there.
Yes, sir. But another thing I do want to add that often gets a bit overlooked.
Yes.
Is I do want to take time to highlight all of my professional staff, those who are not sworn employees, because they are truly the heartbeat of our police department and keep it running effectively. Our executive assistants, our records administration, our technology administration, amongst others, really are the true backbone of the work that we do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good thing to be aware of too. And do we have any more that we want to add for today?
No, I think it's just we're in the beginning of our fiscal year 27 budget. And,
I had something, I just thought of something.
oh, okay, good.
Besides the fact that a few months ago I saw a fox in your bushes, and I think I texted you about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in the same neighborhood. And as a matter of fact, that neighborhood, to give you an idea, you can drive along the street, and there's all these businesses, shops and whatever. They weren't there in 1990. They were probably not there in 1991.
Right.
Walmart was not where it is in 1991. But one thing that I was impressed with, Chief, when I was doing the ride-alongs, is that when a patrol car stopped, the officer behind the wheel could check and different license plates and get the whole history. I think about that so often when I'm stopped, you know, for a red light. I said, gee, they can find out a lot of information about me, which I think is a good thing. You know, to help. Yeah, we know what you're doing. Do you have any outstanding tickets here? You know, I mean, they can find that out, right? But
Yes, sir.
yeah, so we're technology, I guess, in the school system, the teachers have to watch against students cheating, but in the police station, it can be a friend to all.
Yeah, no, exactly.
You had some final comments, Mr. Gomez.
Yes, just again, that we beginning the fiscal year 27 in this month, and we hope to have a preliminary budget to the state of New Mexico by the 1st of June. And, you know, as always, a very difficult process for many reasons. Obviously, there's needs. There's money that, you know, we have to decide on what the direction is for the city and the expectations from the commission, and the obviously needs for police department, fire department, our utilities department, and those departments that you know provide those services in the field. And those, as Chief Lyons made mention of, there are our support staff that make a lot of things occur and happen and support these field departments. So again, I appreciate the opportunity today, and I will also say that we're actively recruiting for a permanent position in the police chief position. And so And we're fortunate that as Chief Lyons was hired as our deputy chief 4 months ago, obviously demonstrates the leadership ability and the willingness. Obviously, you got to have that to be able to make a change for the positive at our police department, with hopes to ensure that that service is seen out in our neighborhoods. That's the key.
Pete, I think that brings us to the end of our podcast. Any final thoughts?
I would simply say, Chief, one thing I don't think you'll experience here is gridlock, traffic gridlock, like you might have in the Austin area. I don't know. Was that ever a problem in Austin?
Yes, sir. And you're right. I can get to the office fairly quickly, within 10 to 15 minutes, and that would be unheard of in the recent city that I came from.
Yeah, I can remember, days I grew up outside of New York City, and I'd be sitting in traffic. My father would be driving and goes, well, it's moving. Yeah, at a snail's pace, but nothing like that here. And I reiterate, we are glad you're here, and I'm sure I speak for others as well.
Thank you. And one more comment from me. I just want to let everyone know that the city of Hobbs is hiring. If you have a heart for public service, if you have a heart to serve our community with integrity, with compassion, please submit an application to our Human Resources Office. We have several positions that are open, from public safety and to the fire department, to our finance, human resources department. We're always looking for people, and I encourage folks to come down and see what the city of Hobbs is all about.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for Lee County Pod today. Have a great day.